Halito, greetings. Welcome to the Happy to Be Nappy Show, y'all. Feathers up, feathers up, feathers up. And we have a very special guest here today. Could you introduce yourself, brother, like no other?
I'm Jawan Eagle Bear Gibbs, also known as Never Tamu. Um, some people call me Tahuti, Tahuti Ray, but 1080, that's me.
That's him. So 1080, there's a lot going on right now in the media about Guatemala.
Right,
And I have a lot of love for Guatemala because I've been going there since my son was 1 and he'll be 33 in June. So that's 32 years I've been really vibing with the Mayan Indians there, and we are the same people. And can you break down, like, back in the days, the Guatemalans left Guatemala and went to Georgia.
right,
Okay, so could you break that down? Because people don't know that. That's just why Little Wayne was singing in his song, just like the Mayans.
yeah.
Hmm. What's
So,
up, brother? Hmm.
so I mean, we all know at one point in time that Mexico owned Texas, right?
Right.
But prior to even that taking place, when we was going through um, the Florida Indian Wars, the Yamasee or the
My
Seminole
tribe.
Indian Wars, the Yamasee Creek Indian Wars, however you want to, label it, um, a large number of indigenous people came
Autopsy.
up here
Original.
and they fought. They fought. They came up here to help their cousins. And you know, people forget, like, every time you look around, like, you gonna see your own people. You go anywhere around that Fertile Crescent we call the Gulf,
Right.
and the Gulf in and of itself is it was a mining expedition. A lot of people don't understand that. Go check out Google Earth
Yep.
anytime you get a chance to get on Google Maps or look on Google Earth and look at the Gulf of Mexico.
Hmm.
And when you look at the Gulf of Mexico, you're going to see that it looks like a mining expedition, like, just like when you go out into the Grand Canyon, and you know uh, these were ancient mining expeditions.
Right.
So you know um, we've been, like, for instance, the utilization of jade. Most people think about jade and they think about China, Japan, or the Far East, right? But the most precious jade, the most important jade, is Guatemalan jade, which I actually happen to have a few pieces of. And it was considered the most highly sought after, because of its hardness. Uh, and so, just like the gold, because you got to ask yourself, a lot of times we have problems putting the context clues together, right?
Hmm.
So if if the Mayans, the Aztecs, if you find all this gold in their temples, right?
Hmm.
And we know for a fact they was mining gold. They wasn't just mining it down in Mexico. They was mining it all up and down the West Coast. Okay, so the thing is why you think, man? Why you think Can Mansa Musa came over here with all that gold?
Good question.
Okay, people keep forgetting that the Anunnaki was doing what? Collecting gold,
Wow.
sending gold
Hmm.
back home, right? And so when Cortez and them showed up, what did they think Cortez was? Who did they think Cortez was? I'm sorry, DeSoto. Who did they think he was?
Right.
They thought he was Inky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when they showed up all armed up in them shiny metal suits and stuff,
Hmm.
yeah, they thought it was the return. A lot of people don't
Same to you. Honor and respect to you too. Thanks for watching.
that we have this we have this blockage, right?
Hmm.
We do a lot of linear thinking, right?
A lot.
Without realizing that um, there's a lot of things in history that it didn't happen the way that we've been told.
Right.
Okay.
Especially with slavery.
Oh my God.
There
Like,
were Asian slaves, there were Caucasian
I mean, there's been
slaves,
slavery and what we call indentured
servants.
servitude in
Right.
every people, in every nation. I mean,
Yeah. So they have so called black people like this hat. Right? Absolutely. This hat is black. They have so called black people thinking that they were the only people on the planet that were slaves.
right,
Over here on Turtle Island, aka Tamarica.
right,
Okay? The Asians were enslaved, all different races, but we're the original race because an Asian and a Caucasian is a mutant
of
of
us.
us. That's
Yep.
all an Asian and a Caucasian is a mutant of us.
Ellis Island.
Ellis Island and
Angel
Angel
Island.
Island, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just a mutant of us. All these lies, and our people are so emotional, they don't even do the work.
They refuse to do the
They
research.
just listen to what the government, the schools, and the churches and the entertainers. Don't forget the celebrities, because Beyonce, sweetie, you and Erica Badu and all of them from Texas is really Mexicans because Mexico and Texas is the same country.
Yeah.
So when you saying in your songs you African and African American, girl, you ain't nothing but a Mexican. Original Mexican Beyonce.
And
Okay?
we know that the Temuaca and the Seminole, Yamasi Creek, we know they went down to the Alamo. We know they went down to Mexico to fight.
That's right.
You know, they was fighting with the Zapata, who you think was kicking Davy, and then they
Okay.
come back home, and once they come back home, they would fight again.
And again,
And that's how the Guatemalans ended up in Georgia, in Florida, Alabama. Yeah.
like they're doing now. Okay, once again, history is repeating itself. And I love Guatemala. Guatemala, Chichicastenango, Antigua, Panajachel. Okay, beautiful, beautiful vegetation. When I went to Guatemala, my son will be 33 in June. 30 uh, 2 years ago, they had the best vegetation, growing food, everything, make it all. Everything that you see made is made in Guatemala. Okay? Made in Guatemala. You see hecho in Guatemala. Everything with our culture, our heritage. I went to Guatemala first before I went to the continent. And it was just amazing. They know who we are as soon as they see us. I go to the continent and I go to Ghana. I was so disappointed. They had no vegetation, they had no crops, no food growing. It was rats all in Guatemala and Ghana.
Bush baby.
It was so many rats, like all over the
Them
place.
bush baby.
Then they had all these Caucasian Jesus. And I'm like, this is Africa? This is the continent? They had nothing. We end up, because I was in my Rastafari culture time at that time, and this is in the 90s. Me and my son father, who's a Rasta from Jamaica, we end up we had bought bags and bags of beans. Pinto beans, red beans, kidney beans, black beans, lentil beans. We bought a whole bunch of stuff. Like when I go to Jamaica, we bring
Beans
stuff.
massive.
Being massive. And so we end up planting food for them because they ain't have nothing. There was nothing. There was not no
Okay.
pineapple tree, nothing.
Now, speaking on which, you know, now Brother Karimio already brought it up, and he did a excellent lecture on it on his YouTube. But out of 700 and some odd plants, you know, it's been proven that 630 something came from America.
That's right here.
And then it's hard to tell people this, but if you take if you go back to a certain time, you know, what we look at in over in Africa and even in the plains here in America.
Absolutely.
Okay. A lot of these areas that we see as flatlands and stuff like that, they were oceans. They were huge lakes. You know, a lot of them. There was an ocean inside the middle of Africa at one point, and people don't even understand that. Like, you know, yeah, 630 plus seeds.
Right. That's
So
right.
630 plus forms of vegetables, herbs, fruits.
Fruits come from right here, right
And that's
here.
because everybody has read the so-called flood story, and all of these different people have marked it throughout in stone. Okay, but we hadn't figured it out yet where exactly Noah's Ark is. What I did a long time ago, because Encyclopedia Britannica
Tanica,
shows you
oh
how
Bree Bree,
the lions of the so-called African jungle, the leopards, the giraffe, the buffalo, a lot of them came from here.
right here.
They came from here. And so, we have to understand, no, we have to understand that they played a three-card Molly trick on us. You
Understand.
know, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
after overstand
Stand.
too,
Mm-hmm.
because we're not grasping it. Now, we're not saying that slavery never happened or that there
Right.
wasn't indentured servitude, because we just
Bingo.
made the fact clear that all people have had indentured servitude. As a matter of fact, some of us sold our own family members, you know,
Into
into
servitude.
servitude.
Right.
There's tribes here in America that, and when they went to war and got to banging with one another, guess what they did?
That's right. Salute.
They killed the women, they killed the men, subdued the women and children, and then adopted them. Right now, here's the thing: a lot of the native tribes here, the indigenous tribes here, one of the things that they did as a way to balance things out is, if my tribe go to war with your tribe,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Right.
and we pretty much uh, subdue you, um, instead of killing you off, we would just adopt you into the tribe, okay. You would have to marry people into the tribe. So, truth is coming out that all of your Italian, your French, your British, all of these people that came over here in the 1700s, 1800s, they had to marry to get over here. They had to already be spoken for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That's right.
go look it up. Go research it.
Right. Don't take our word. It's called do your own research. And that's the problem that we're having with people with this copper color, brown eyes, black eyelashes, black eyebrows, okay? Y'all don't do your research. Y'all listen to the church and the government and televisions. They giving you 12 years of a slave, roots, all this, which is lies, lies, and more lies. And we're debunking the lies. It's a done deal. And even the Africans, they know. The
Yeah,
gig is up.
that's the even craziest part. Like, the ones on the continent, Ghana,
Senegal, Mali,
Senegal, the
Gambia. I've
Akans,
been to all those
they're
countries.
telling us, like, we're not from here. Now, Ghana opened up its doors to us because we helped to facilitate, and we helped to actually settle Ghana. People don't understand that. So check this out. How about, just to give you something, a little tidbit to show you how far back that it goes, right? Because when you deal with the Yoruba people, Ifa people, and those traditions, how is it that you can align the Aztec and Mayan calendars to their so-called divination every day? The same kind of offerings that they're asking for, the supplications, the prayers for each individual born on that day, the things that you're supposed to do, the offerings that you're supposed to give, the sacrifices that you're supposed to give, right?
Right.
Now, that's not changed. The way that they do it, the way they go about doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the things that most people want to talk about, well, the Aztecs and the Mayans, they sacrificed humans. Guess what?
What?
What is war?
Sacrificing.
So, would you rather be an honorable sacrifice, or would you rather be what they consider to be a casualty of war, or
Right.
collateral damage?
That part.
Right? And that's where they got y'all right now. Y'all just collateral damage. That's why they beat your ass in the street, choke you out, put their knee on your throat, because you're not black. And black
Or
is,
African American or 14th Amendment citizen, Executive Order 13037, signed by your first black president, Bill Clinton. You just a slave, okay?
from
African American.
from the Little Rock,
Right. Arkansas,
you know.
okay?
And it's crazy because, you know, the sad things about our history, uh, it's a mystery to us.
Mm-hmm.
right?
That part. That
And
part.
it's only a mystery to us because
You don't
of the
dwell yourself.
indoctrination that we've been given. Think about it. They had to politically indoctrinate you. They had to religiously indoctrinate you and wipe your culture out so that you would never look at your, like, think about it. Christianity, Judaism, and Islam literally teaches us that our ancestors were savages. Think about that. How the hell you savages and you building fucking pyramids that y'all monkey asses can't do right now?
Right.
You wish you was a fucking caveman.
Yeah.
You wish that you was in the Stone Age.
Yes.
You wish that you was there when the giants or the Nephilim was running the earth. That's why everywhere you go to, you run to and you go, I'm looking for the devil. Y'all know damn well that you the grafted man.
Right.
Because that's what a devil is. It's a grafted man.
Okay.
Your Bible says that Adam was created from the dust of the earth or from a ball of clay, mud clay, which means that Adam was grafted.
Okay.
Now, which Adam are we talking about? Right? Because the ancient scriptures say that we come from the stars.
Star beans. Sirius B, to be exact.
Star dust, starlight, however you want to do it, you know,
Shine so bright.
your soul having a human experience.
That's right.
We are
A life experience. Really.
we are a, as a, like people say, as a soul, a whole soul collective. We are all soul mates,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what makes us soul mates is the fact that we come from the same solar bodies, which we call these, we call them fixed stars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Them fixed stars, them different clusters of fixed stars, you know, which shine so bright late at night,
Mm-hmm.
and we are actually the refractions of that in the physical reality. You know,
That part.
go and look up. Go and look up. Something else is just coming to mind too, because back in the day they used to worship the sun, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The sun is a speaker though.
Yeah.
It's the original speaker box. That's why they used to travel. Well, they travel back and forth through the suns, through the stars, because the star, or is nothing but an aperture. It's the same thing as a womb. It shines so bright late at night. Because I don't know if any of y'all have paid enough attention to this, and this is when a man and a woman are being sexually intimate,
Mm-hmm.
you can literally see the electrical charge passing from one to the other as a man is inserting or as he's going through the motion.
Right.
You know, you can literally see electrical sparks and charges
Oh yeah.
taking place. It's not just a feeling, it's an actual energetic thing that's taking place. You're literally producing what's called a blazar. Sex, that's basically what it is. Now, when you look up the ancient symbol for Ra, which is a circle with a dot in the middle, we've been told that that's the sun. Okay? Well, if you look at a sun, they say it has a black dot in the center. But if you look at a blazar has an actual ring with the black dot, with a dot of light emanating, pulsating, shooting like jets out of both sides. So when you look at it from a two-dimensional cross-section, it looks like a cross. That's what it looks like. So when you take it and put it flat, that's why you get the circle with the dot. When you stand it up,
Right.
it looks like like a cross. Okay.
Yeah.
So who's teaching that?
Nobody.
Who actually knows that the symbol for Ra is a blazar? Because we talk about the ancient Commissions, and Egypt was not just the only place where they was utilizing that.
Absolutely.
It was the whole planet.
Yes, it
And there was several different star languages
Appreciate you, Cherokee.
that are light languages
Uh-huh.
that our ancestors spoke and wrote in, and the ladders of which are like offshoots of y'all call Hebrew, y'all call Arabic, the Geese. These languages are the latter languages to come after the fact.
We were so
Okay,
telepathic.
because yeah, you know, we it says in the Bible that when Nimrod built the tower,
Mm-hmm.
everybody spoke one language, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they was able to build this tower. Well, didn't our government put a tower out in the space too?
Yeah.
Don't they have a space station they're building right now that all people are connected with?
Mm-hmm.
And we can all communicate in one language
Mm-hmm.
through translation
Right.
because we have now what? The World Wide Web. Now, back in the day, we didn't even understand that that is what they were saying to us.
Right.
We had no clue when they said that the Tower of Babel was crushed to rubble. When you look around at all these stone pyramids and everything,
Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon especially.
Yep. And there's two. There's one in Georgia called Providence that we're gonna go to on February the 1st to start off our history month because it's not Black History Month. It's Ancient History Month. We're gonna go and we're gonna go live at the Providence uh, Grand Canyon here in Georgia, because we in Alabama right now. You follow, right over the bridge from Georgia. So we spend a lot of time in Georgia, and we see all the mounds right here in your follow. There's so many mounds. So we're here in Indian Territory, okay, and we're gonna set the record straight. We're debunking all the lies, and February we going hard. We're going so
All
hard.
up and down the Mississippi, um, they want us to believe that these was different, separate cultures, right?
Right,
But how do you have the same exact repeated building um, 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 models, you
right,
know, over and over from South America all the way up to Canada? Literally, repeated. Um, you see, like Moundville, the Moundville site here in Alabama. You know how many other sites are built exactly like Moundville in Ohio, in remember, because in Egypt they called them mastabas, right?
mm-hmm.
Mastaba pyramids, but we had step mounds or the same kind of, because the mounds predate the um, pyramids by tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of years. I say the latter because I know it was hundreds of
Right
thousands.
in your country. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And so, you know, then what we don't understand is that they use sacred geometry to build. They literally made earthworks using geometric shapes, the same way they did the pyramids. They inlaid the frequencies into the earth through what we call now the earth's synthetic nervous system.
Right,
We call them ley lines, right? And if you
right.
lay your ass down on them energy lines,
That's
you
right.
will be renewed. You will, especially if you're at a cross point. So while y'all running around doing all of this, you know, talking about Wakanda forever, you standing on Wakanda. You know, you fail to realize that the skull and bones, the ancient symbol of skull and bones, is a Mayan symbol, and the utilization of the skull as a representation of resurrection of the soul onto the earth plane is age old. It's ages old. The beings who, you know, okay, so most people know about skull and bones from pirates, right? But it was an ancient Masonic symbol. It's an ancient Masonic symbol. You know, you will eventually taste death. How you taste death, that's upon you. But the ancient masonry of our ancestors that we're looking at right now, the as above is so below. You're going to see under every single star constellation. There's pyramids and mounds built for at least 36 fixed stars, constellations. So, you know, we're familiar with Orion and with Sirius, with things lining up with Orion and Sirius, and but there's star constellations that land. I mean, there's mounds and pyramids that line up with Draco. There's stars and pyramid. I mean, there's mounds and pyramids that line up with uh, um, Lyra, um, and so on and so forth. You know, so uh, We got to wake up, y'all. We got to understand that we literally come from the stars. We're in space. Do you understand that? Do you even grasp that the human body is an atomic structure, and an atom is made mostly of space? So how are you this? How are you that? It's the mind. This is all an agreement. This is a holographic illusion. It's a biochemical holograph or biochemical hologram. It's a program. We are all in a simulator on a holodeck somewhere, just like they show you on the Matrix. We're beaming down here, playing fun. We're having fun. This is the angels falling at play. You know, um, and so we're in the age of sleep. We're in the Kali Yuga of sleep. This is why y'all don't know who the hell you are, because you really sleeping right now. Okay, you in suspended animation somewhere, in a higher energetic dispensation, in the higher dimensions, um, and you're sending signals down into this physical realm, down into this third dimension, third density. Um, and the sooner we get to under the understanding that your sound more than, because light is an aspect of sound.
That's right.
Okay,
Absolutely.
sound is created from heat and cold, from electromagnetism. Okay, so when you talk about the electromagnetic spectrum, and let's just go here. Let's go here. We talk about the electromagnetic spectrum in our chakras, right?
Right.
Okay, so we've been taught it's seven. It's 144 chakras in the body. Yeah, and then when they're turned on, you get 144,000 watts in amplitude in the body. Each cell is putting out 144,000 hertz.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. Not being produced. You're asleep. The computer is asleep. The program is asleep. Just like when you turn your computer into sleep mode, it runs off of what? 10%, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do they say our brains are functioning off of right now? Yeah. So, you know, um, the aspect of the whole illusion of where we're at. The Piscean Virgo age is the age of sleep. This is the age of the goddess. I will repeat it again, because everybody running around here saying that we going into the age of the goddess. You in the feminine era.
Yes, we are.
Water and earth is feminine.
Yeah.
So if we going into the Aquarian age, we're going into a masculine time period, because this means that the spirit or the soul is going to become active. You're in a sleep pattern right now. This is the reason why you can't tap in the way you want to. No matter what you think you're doing, you're gonna have to go somewhere and meditate for a long time.
Pretty much.
When once we come out of this age, it's all gonna wake back up, and the machine is going to run on its own automatically, like it's been doing for umpteenth ages.
Yeah.
So, you know, um,
We just want to break it down to you. We're not going to give y'all so much today, but we're just going to give y'all that to dissect.
no, they want steak. They act like they want steak, goddess.
It's all good. It's all good in the hood. We just giving y'all this to digest, because we know when people watch this, they're gonna come back with it, because y'all come back with all kind of
All
stuff.
kind of crazy stuff.
All kind. Y'all like go hard.
And they love to
hard.
take stuff out of perspective too.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man, like
But we see so much in the news with the Guatemalans, they're leaving. And potatoes, yeah, potatoes. And we see
potatoes, yams, beans, peas. You don't sound like the collard greens, chicken, yams.
you know, so we know, because I have a lot of Guatemalan family, and I'm just seeing people just rapidly leaving Guatemala, and we just wanted to touch base and let people know. If you don't know, now you know.
But also, the tribes that we will return back to the lands of our ancestors.
That's right.
Once these folks get to acting stupid,
Mm-hmm.
y'all gonna get woke up. I'm telling you. That's the whole reason why The song says, I stay woke.
That's right.
And it ain't
Stable.
what y'all thought.
No,
Because Erica
no.
ain't the one that put that shit out. That's my work.
That's right. And
So,
she's from Texas, which is a part of
Mexico.
Mexico. So all y'all Texan people are original Mexicans. That part.
Matter of fact, a lot of people don't even understand how the Yamasee and Seminole people, the Timucua, came over here. All of the Yamasee Creek, they left from the northeast. I mean, they left from the they left from the northeast and made like a Nike swoosh down through into Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay, because of the Gullah Geechee Wars. It was all. Think about it. If they started coming over here in the late 16, 1700, well, late 1600s, 1700s to 1800s, come on, y'all, put it together. And they started putting 13 colonies together. You know,
And why 13? Not 14, not 11, 10, 9, 8, 13.
right? And that's their bad luck number, right? Because
Okay.
you don't go anywhere in any building,
13 floors.
13th floor be missing. Why?
Friday the 13th. That part.
And they know it's a spiritual meaning behind that because that 1 3, that's
Powerful number.
leadership. That's
Yes.
leadership and creativity, creative self-expression, and the ability to lay down a solid foundation with that.
That's right.
So you know,
We're going to start coming hard, especially for February. We're coming real hard. We're going to debunk all this Black History Month, okay? Because black means dead in the courtroom, civil, lita, mortis, you're dead.
which means all of y'all walking into the courtroom. You want to talk about the zombie apocalypse? You're dead. You run
Right.
around here calling yourself black, you're dead. So you walk in zombies.
That's right.
You
and
are. You're
you're the
zombies.
reflex of a human being according to the Constitution.
Yes.
Okay? Take the B off of black, what you got?
Lack.
Lack of respect, lack of knowledge of self, just a lacker. Okay? And when you call yourself black, you're in a dark space because you're calling yourself this color. Now that's a black.
That's black.
Okay? We're not black. So stop it.
Even the
You
darkest.
looking, ignorant to the world. I'm a black woman. And it's so funny. Rihanna had on a black turtleneck, and she was like, "Oh, I'm a black woman, and when I have my baby, I'm gonna have a black baby." Girl, your baby look like me, Rihanna.
Yeah, but
Okay,
having
stop.
having all these black babies just state soon as they born.
Right. My homeboy said it.
You
Thank
know.
you, Brother Cherokee and Brother
Yes.
Anthony Parks. We appreciate y'all
Yes.
for tuning in to Knowledge is Anciency. This is ancient wisdom, okay? Because we all recycle ancestors. He's a recycled ancestor. I'm a recycled ancestor. And we're here to make the wrongs right. We came back to be recycled to make sure that the truth gets dispersed. Because guess what? The truth is unstoppable. And now this generation that's in their 20s and 30s, they know. They know they ain't no African American. All the people that's my age and their 60s, I look real good for 60 years.
Yes,
I'm
you
going to
do.
be 61. But most of my dumb friends that's my age is still stuck on Africa. Okay? They still thinking, oh, well, sister, I'm from Alabama, but I was introduced to African dance, and that's when I got into that. So what? That
Right.
does not make you a person from the continent. Everything comes from here. Wake up. Thank you, brother. Wake up and smell the coffee. It's
Okay.
you
And
know
where does the coffee come from?
right here. Let me tell you, I got land in Guatemala and Panajachel. I bought it from my son at 4 years young. Nothing but coffee on that land. Okay, coffee. There's no coffee on the continent. There's no coconut
Well,
trees, pineapple.
Outside of Morocco.
Right,
it's not
outside,
yeah.
right. But when you go to Ghana,
And we
Senegal,
planted that.
Gambia,
We took that over there.
right, we plant everything there. So we're gonna keep coming hard this month. We're not playing. And like we always say, do your own research, cause the ancestors are here and they're pissed and they're ready to get down with the get down. Okay?
That's
So
true.
on that note, we want to say thank you for watching, and we will be back because February is coming, and we about to. Right, the key word is research,
Research.
research, research. And
Critical thinking.
that's right. And if you don't believe us about Mexico, you're gonna find out Mexico and Texas is the same land.
Yeah.
Same. They just took it.
All they doing is coming back home, and we ain't got no right. That's like they ain't got no right to tell us what to do with our children and how to live our lives. And we need to wake up and stop acting like we want to be better slaves tomorrow for them than we are today.
That's right.
So we come from a mighty dynasty, a mighty paramountcy that was global,
Greatness.
global,
Greatness.
and actually
Royalty.
galactic,
Right.
interplanetary and galactic. Because that's why when you
Cosmos. We are cosmic energy. The stars call us outside. We here in the country. We go outside and we do ceremonies respecting the stars. The star beings communicate with us like, yo, come outside, talk to us telepathically. And we do, and we see spacecrafts. We see them because where he's at is a vortex of a creek that runs right through his land. There's a creek, and right out over that vortex with that water is the spacecrafts that we see with our own eyes. And we see the stars in the skies, and we see the spacecrafts right there watching. So it's going down. The galaxy, the cosmos, we got our ancestors, our Anunnaki, they all watching us,
Yep.
and we got to be tuned in. Get close with nature, walk barefoot, hug a tree, talk to the water, stay in syncopation with nature. Not all, everything, your cell phone, everything you have. So everything I'm wearing comes from nature.
Yep.
Okay? We can't live without nature. Okay? So be one with nature. We are one with nature. We do our full moon ceremonies, we do our new moon ceremonies, we do our fishes, we do going to all the mounds. We do it. We stay connected with, because that's how you're going to get the frequency. You know, as American Indians, we are shapeshifters.
Yes.
He and I can see the trees shape shifting because we're not watching no television. We staying connected with Mother Nature, Mother Earth. My shout out to my nephew Nico Powers. He said to me, "I know you see the trees shake shifting," and I was shocked because you don't know how to tell people
Right.
about this.
Like when you see a
And
tree literally
shake
get
shift.
up, get up and do like this,
That's move.
and
We
it'd
done,
be space.
that's
And
right.
you'd be like, you
Okay.
wasn't there 2 days ago.
The
What
trees
the?
are alive. They hear all your secrets. They know all your business.
Well,
Okay?
because the trees are the record keeper.
That's right.
You know, every
That's right.
time we check this out, something else that and I had a pine tree express this to me. Every
Mm-hmm.
time we exhale, guess what they do? They record it. All the plants, all the plants. Every time you exhale, when you walking over grass, your feet touching on the grass, just like they show you in the movie The Avatar, there's literally waves of energy that's moving through the earth. Every time you walk, like Michael Jackson and Billie Jean, when you used to see the when you saw the cement blocks lighting up everywhere he walked,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
the ground does the same thing as
American
long as your
Indian,
feet
Michael Jackson,
are touching.
great grandfather shaman.
Absolutely.
Okay.
As long as your feet are touching the ground, and that's why they put rubber on our shoes, you know, to keep that connection um, limited. Because if you got rubber underneath your feet, we all know that electricity don't pass through rubber. So
Right.
think
So
about
it's
that.
a disconnect from Mother Earth.
Yes.
And so we have to connect. Stop being such followers. We are leaders. Stop being so crazy over these celebrities because they are carrying that false narrative that African American stolen from Africa, especially Umar Johnson. Sit down, boy. That Pan Africanism, we done debunked all your lies. Okay? All your lies. Even the Africans know they tired of you. They even tired of you. They're like, this man coming over here for what? Just sit down and stay in your own country and build your own schools here.
And
Okay?
I mean, truth. You go when you go back and you look up things like what do they call it when all of the when they started taking the children from all of us from our tribes and forcing them to go to Catholic schools and missionary schools, and that was to disrupt the history. That was to stop us from speaking the language from keeping us from being able to connect with the dances, the ceremonies, and the, you know, the
Yes.
ancient pipe
Our
ceremonies,
rituals,
and
because that's who we are.
and the sacred feather ceremonies and the water ceremonies
Exactly.
that the women used to keep. You know,
Right.
y'all used to carry bowls, carry pottery with, you know, pots of water,
Beautiful.
vessels of water
Yes.
from one river to the other, and it was it's literally like literally this is it's documented.
That's right.
You know, so it's a lot of culture that we got to get back into,
Mm-hmm.
that we lost, and we have to realize that our abundance can come in different forms. We don't have to be working for these people, you know. Um, I mean, because think about it, the whole idea of 40 acres and a mule, even though that they attributed to African slavery, it was to Indians. It was to
Right. Not
indigenous
right.
Autonomous. It was not to Africans.
Africans. Right.
The 40 acres and a mule
Moves was for us,
was for
American Indians.
Choctaw, Creek,
Cherokee,
Yamasee.
Yamasee,
Yes, that's who that
Blackfoot,
was for.
Mohawk,
Seminole.
Mohegan,
Yeah,
our family.
yeah.
Okay?
Wampanoag,
What
all of that.
right.
That's what that was for.
Okay?
It was not for any Africans. It wasn't for colored people. Colored people
People
back then were
were us.
Indians.
Was us. We got reclassified from Indian to savage to brothers to boys to colored to Negro to black to now African American. No other race of people in the world. Ain't
Has been done that.
No Jamaicans, no
No,
Haitians, no
nobody been done
Guatemalans.
that.
They've never been reclassified 15, 16, 17 names. So it's that part you need to start thinking about.
Yep.
They don't even call Jamaican an African Jamaican.
Nope.
They don't call a Trinidad an African
Nope.
American.
And
None of
and
that.
that's where the actual, if there was any captives that was brought to the Americas, that's where they were. They would have
Right.
went to the Caribbean first.
Right.
They would have went to the Caribbean, and they would have went to South America. They didn't come by way of America because it was too hard. The Canary Currents don't flow like that.
No,
They
no.
send you straight to South America. Now they flow from America. The Canary Currents flow from America to Africa like that,
Right.
and they flow from America to Europe that way, right? Because
Right.
there's the Irish have a story where,
Which are the original Jamaicans. Jamaican
yes,
man are the Irish man.
and that's where they get that patois tongue
Right,
from.
that
It's the
accent.
combination of the indigenous tongue and Irish.
Right.
You know,
And Irish people love Jamaicans because they have the same accent.
That's right.
Because they are the same people.
Irish
Those
and Scottish, I should
Caucasians,
say.
they are mutant. The pale face Scottish and Irish are mutants from us.
Yeah.
And the Asian scientists just did the research and came out with
They're
Caucasians and Asians are nothing but mutants of people that look like me and him and darker.
and
Okay.
they're who we call the red-headed stepchildren.
Yes.
They're our, like how you see right now, you got all those albinos living in the city, in the safe city right now because they was hunting them down and all of that. Okay, that is what eventually became what you know as Slavics.
Who were the original slaves. That's where the word comes from. Slavery comes from the Slavics. And now the Slavics are going viral on social media, coming out and saying, y'all, black Americans don't know nothing. Y'all wasn't the first slaves. We were.
That's
the
right.
Slavics. That's where the word slavery comes from. The Slavics, the slaves. But y'all so stuck on being slaves and not stuck on getting back your land, growing your food, and rising your nations of your autoxin ancient people back to their ancient ways and culture.
The anthropology professor for Ohio State wrote a paper back in 2010 that says that there were over 1.5 million Slavic slaves held by Barbary pirates, Moors, on the west coast of Africa, right? And they brought them from the west coast of Africa to the Americas. Now, all these people going over there to Africa thinking that they going to castles that had their family enslaved. The truth is that's not where your family came from.
No, not at all.
Europeans was the ones that was over there. The gateway of no return.
Yes.
No, buddy, it wasn't your people. It was
Right.
Europeans.
My country. That's
If
right.
anybody going to go to the gateway of no return, it's going to be Irish, Scottish, Franks, Danes. Those are the ones. Yeah. So Thank you for having me.
Yes,
I really
and we
appreciate it.
covered a lot, and we're gonna go on all the platforms and just tell it like it is. It's that
That's
time.
right.
The truth is unstoppable. If you like this, spread it, share it. We came live. We gonna keep going live.
Spread love and love yourself first.
That's right. So you can love, so others can love you. Much love and light. And to all our toxin ancient ones of America, feathers up, feathers up, feathers up, y'all. Peace.
Aho.
Yokoki, Nanaya, Aho, and we love you so much for knowing who you are. Because the rest of these people are brain dead. Peace.